A condo in Scarborough received 53 offers the other day, which is kind of insane considering the whole world is on lockdown. And I think it's a sign and a testament to the resilience of the Toronto housing market. But with that said, we are seeing some downward price pressure. We are seeing an increase in supply and a decrease in demand. So what I want to go over in this video is, are we seeing price regression, and to what degree, and what's going to come next? All right, so I'm not going to focus too much in this video on sales volume. I think mainstream media has done a more than adequate job of covering the dramatic drop in sales volume, and I think it's also pretty obvious that that was going to happen. When you lock down the country, less people are out there looking at homes, less showings, less demand, and of course sales volume is going to drop off. The more important question to me is that decrease in demand translating to a decrease or price regression? So are prices going backwards at all? Are we seeing price decreases? Are people losing money on their condos? That's the most important question to me, and that's what we're going to try to answer here, at least for the time being. Are people, are we seeing price regression? So first things first, this is Broker Bay's report on showing volume. Broker Bay is sort of an internal real estate software. It's like the Apple of real estate appointments lately. So all of the cool brokerages are on this, and it gives you a good idea of GTA wide how many showings are happening, and where the market's headed sort of from that. It's a decent indicator of at least interest in the market and active buyers in the market. So you can see where COVID came into play here. This is a graph of showings, right? Showings GTA wide on a daily basis. So you can see where COVID came into play. Dramatic drop off in showings is as much as an 80% decrease. And what I want to draw attention to is the last 2 weeks have been we've been seeing an uptick in volume of showings. And so that's indicative of obviously some sort of recovery, or at minimum there's some sort of pent up demand. There's a lot of buyers getting back into looking at homes, even though this lockdown isn't over yet. So that's a positive sign for sure. Now let's talk about price. So when you're looking at price, you want to isolate for variables. The first thing I've done is I've narrowed to 1 bedrooms. The reason why I do that is because when you look at all condos in Toronto and you look at the average price, your data is skewed. In times of economic uncertainty and in times of a slowdown, luxury product and large product are the first types of condos to stop selling. So obviously your average price, your median price gets skewed massively because of that. So we narrow down to 1 bedroom. So we look at CO1, which is the downtown, central downtown, you could call it. And let's look at median selling price here. First, actually, you know what? I want to look at median selling price for the last 10 years on a yearly basis, or even we could do last 5. 2017 is an important year to look at. You can kind of see it here. 2016 through 17, we went from 397,000 on average to 500,000. So that's a $100,000 increase in price. That's a 25% price increase. What happened that year? Just a huge lack of. If you were active in the market, you probably remember this. Pockets in Toronto saw anywhere between 20 and 25% appreciation. The reason why I bring this up is because January and February of this year were very similar to January and February of 2017. That is to say that we were seeing, properties sell $100,000 over asking, 20, 30 offers on properties were not uncommon, and new inventory, new condo launches were selling out inside of a weekend. So the point I'm trying to make here is that the condo market was incredibly hot. We were hovering between 1 and 1.5 months of inventory prior to COVID, which is an extremely hot market. So this might actually benefit in the long run because those levels of appreciation aren't sustainable. So we look at median sale price for the last 12 months weekly. We can see that at our height in February, we were around 700,000, just about to crack 700,000, 699, 697, 500. And after COVID, where did we land? We landed at our absolute bottom at about 605,000. Now we're trending back up, but this is the first week of May, so it's probably skewed. It's probably a small sample. So yeah, 6 properties. So that's not ideal. So let's just rule it out. Let's say we went from 700 to 605,000 median. So on paper, that looks like people, condos that were selling for 700
a couple of months ago are selling for $605,000 now. So, have condos lost $100,000 in value? Well, the answer is no. And once again, it comes down to, this comes down to just the problem with looking at data, through a wide angle lens like this is you need to niche down further. You need to find exact examples, because as far as we know, what's happening is the large properties are sitting on the market and the smaller one bedrooms are selling, right? The more affordable properties. And I would go so far as to say that's probably what is happening. So for example, let's take two examples. These are two examples I grabbed at random: 65 Bremner and 87 Peter. So 65 Bremner, unit 4306, has a 1-bed, 1-bath, and it sold for $612,500 back in December of 2019. And then 4106, so the exact same floor plan, just two floors lower, sold for $595,000 in April of this year. So price went down on this unit by $17,500. 87 Peter, 3305. So this one's great. I stumbled upon this one. It's the exact same unit. So 3305 sold in January. It was purchased in January, and then that person sold it in April. Obviously, you don't know the whole story. It could be job loss or just spooked. It could be an investor who got spooked with the market. But either way, it makes my job so easy. It tells you exactly where prices have gone. This particular unit was purchased for $508,000, and then it was sold for $510,000. And it's a studio, right? It's a small unit. If I remember this floor plan correctly, it's like 420 square feet. So it just goes to show, and it only took 5 days to sell during COVID. So it just goes to show, the smaller units do have a high level of liquidity, and they tend to fare best during times of economic uncertainty. And it also shows, this guy, the price of the unit went up $2,000, obviously after transactional fees, after paying real estate fees and lawyer fees and all the rest of it. It's sad this person lost money, but as far as I'm concerned, that's a pretty decent result, all things considered, during quarantine and all the rest of it, and all the economic uncertainty. So, we're starting to see things pick back up. I can tell you, in the last week, I've been on the phone a lot with investors looking to take advantage of the market. So we're seeing some signs of recovery, and the quarantine's not even over yet. So I would say I'm cautiously optimistic about what the next few months holds.